In this video, I'm going to be unboxing the Sony ZV-E10 II with the new kit lens. So on this side of the box, we have a nice image of the camera body and the new kit lens. This side of the box shows it's the ZV-E10 II. It does come with the zoom lens kit, and I did get the black version. This side of the box basically just has the Sony Alpha logo and a warning. And this side of the box clearly says which camera this is. And the bottom of the box shows which supplied accessories we should expect to see inside this box. And finally, the top of the box just says Sony. So let's go ahead and open the box and see what comes inside. Looks like we have some paperwork here on the top of the box. I won't bore you with that. And there is some information here if you want to try to read that. And here we go. Looks like we have the neck strap. I don't personally use these. I will make an accessories video and let you know which straps I prefer to use, but if you want that, it is included for free inside the box here. And this probably is the battery. Alright, there's a close-up on the battery for you if you want to read anything there. It is indeed the NP-FZ100 battery pack, so it is the larger of the two Sony mirrorless batteries, so that's a really good thing. I'll go ahead and put that to the side, but we will need that in a moment when we turn it on. And it looks like we have another accessory here. Looks like it is the wind screen. So this is the wind screen that you can put over the built-in microphone. Put it in the hot shoe, and it's helpful if you need to get clearer microphone sounds on a windy day outdoors. So I'll put that to the side as well. And last but definitely not least, it looks like the body and lens come together. And that does look to be the last thing in the box, so I'll put that away. And let's take a look here at the ZV-E10 II. So this is the first look. Let me zoom in here for you. So there's that new kit lens. I can take off the lens cap here, very thin lens cap. And as you can see, it is a 3.5 to 5.6 power zoom 16 to 50 millimeter with optical steady shot, and it is a version 2 of this kit lens. It does take 40.5 millimeter filter threads if you're going to use those. So I'll try to show off all angles of the ZV-E10 II body here for you. So here's a super up close and detailed view of the top side of the Sony ZV-E10 II with the new kit lens attached. And here's a look at the rear of the camera with the display and the buttons. And this is a quick look at the grip side of the camera and the port side of the camera with the ports closed and with the ports open. So we do have a USB Type-C, a microphone, standard 3.5 millimeter input, a standard 3.5 millimeter headphone jack input, and a micro HDMI, along with a UHS 2 compatible single SD card slot. Now, one thing I will note is that these top two ports do not stay back on their own, so that may be unideal for you, but it is what it is. Just wanted to let you know that is the case. These do not stay open on their own as the SD port does. And here's a look at the front or lens side of the camera. And here's a front view of the camera with the lens removed. And I'll try to angle here so you can see the sensor of the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, the APS-C sized sensor there. And last, here's a look at the bottom of the camera. We do have a tripod mount, and this is where we can insert the battery. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and insert the battery. Just push it in there, make sure it latches, and then close this latch. And I'll also show you how to insert the windscreen. So you just need to line up the hot shoe this direction and then slide it in. Now the little hair fuzzes are covering that microphone. Alright, so since weight is one of the main reasons you might get this camera, let's go ahead and see how much this weighs. So with the battery and SD card and windscreen and lens cap, this comes in at 490 grams. Now you're probably not going to use it with the lens cap while you're shooting, so I'll go ahead and remove that. And we can see it's down to 485 grams. Now let's say you don't want to use the windscreen, or you just want to know how much it weighs without that accessory. I'll take that off, and we're down to 481 grams. The camera without a lens is 374 grams. And in case you're curious about your own SD card and battery weight, for whatever reason, I'll remove the SD card and the battery. And body only, no lens, sensor exposed, is 289 grams, which is 0.637 pounds. So my first impressions here are that the grip is pretty grippy. The material it has on it does allow you to have a pretty good grip, and it is a pretty wide grip, especially compared to the original ZV-E10. I was a little worried that the bigger battery would make the E10 II a bigger camera, and it definitely is. It definitely feels heavier than the first gen, which is kind of sad for me because I really do love that small feeling of the original ZV-E10. But we'll see if the additional features make the additional weight worth it. And I just wanted to give you a little closer look here at just the new kit lens itself. You've kind of already seen the front here, but this is the thickness, or rather thinness, of this lens. It is very thin. It does have the power zoom feature here on the side of the lens, and this is what the back of the lens looks like. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn the camera on and see what happens. So this is the on-off switch. I'm going to switch it to on, and let's take a look at the display. And unfortunately, it looks like the battery is dead. So the battery did not come with any juice, so I'm gonna have to go get a charged battery, so I'll be right back. So one thing to realize is that the box does not come with a USB-C charging cable, nor any kind of charger, so you will have to buy those on your own. Now I do have some recommendations, and I'll link those in the description below, but for now I own other FZ100 batteries, so I put in one of my own that's already charged, and let's try this again. So I'm gonna turn it on. And let's take a look at the display, and there we go. So you can choose your language here. So you can either just use your thumb to slide the control wheel like this, or you can use the up-down buttons as well to choose your language. And once you're ready to make your choice, you can hit or press this center button. So I'm going to choose English. Now it says set accessibility functions for screen reader, etc. And if you need that, you'll probably want to press the up arrow and then say set. I'm not going to use that at the moment, so I'm just going to say not now. And it does have a privacy notice here. I think this is because you can register your face for more advanced autofocus for human recognition subjects. So as long as you're okay with that, you go ahead and say I understand by hitting this button here. And it's talking about the initial setting with the Creators app. So it looks like if you download the Creators app, you can perform initial camera settings with your smartphone. So if you want to do that, you can hit the center button, but if not, you can press this trash can button to set it on the camera. So I'm more familiar doing this from the camera, so I'm just going to press the trash can button. So next we're going to set our area, date, and time. So I'm going to go ahead and press this center button. And I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so I'm going to choose San Francisco here. So I'm going to go ahead and press the center button to say OK. And now you can choose your date format, where Y is year, M is month, and D is day. I actually like having the year first, so I'm going to do year, month, day. And then you can set your time. So today is Friday, August 2nd. So I'm going to have to go August 2nd, and it is 5:16 p.m. We'll call that good enough. Oh, but I guess it's gotta go here for p.m. Okay, it's still 16. All right. If you want 24 hour, it looks like you can tap the trash can icon there. And once that looks good to you, you can go ahead and press the OK setter button. Alright, so this is where you make your auto power off temperature selection. It looks like they only recommend doing this if you're going to use it on a tripod. I have used this with other cameras while hand holding, so I'm going to go ahead and choose set on this. And it says the temperature of the device may rise to prioritize recording time. Would you like to change this setting? I would like to, so I'm going to press the up and then center button OK. And it says that you can use the Creators app for image transfer to smartphones and remote shooting. And it tells you about how you can set a connection using the menu button, smartphone connection. So once you understand that, you can press this little circle button. Alright, and now this has a pixel mapping feature that optimizes the image sensor, so it will get rid of any hot pixels. So I do highly recommend you say OK for this. And you need to make sure that the lens cap is on for light shielding before running the pixel mapping. And be aware that the camera will reboot after the pixel mapping is complete. So I can verify that my lens cap is on. So I'm going to go ahead and press up and tap OK. Whoa. And it looks like it needed to extend the lens here. And now it took it back out. Whoa. Alright. So it looks like it needed to do that to extend the lens. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little. So it says pixel mapping is completed. I'm going to go ahead and say OK. It's letting us know that we can swipe to the left, right, and up to call out the touch function and the FN menu. Alright, so just to demonstrate that feature, you can swipe to remove those icons and swipe back to get them again. And if you want to access the FN menu, you can just swipe up from the bottom. And once you're done, you can swipe down as well. Now, one last thing you'll need before you can start taking photos or videos is you'll see here in orange it is flashing no card, so you will need an SD memory card. If you don't already have one, I'm going to do a video sharing my recommendations for the best SD cards for the Sony ZV-E10 II, so be sure to check that out in the description below or at the end of this video. But for now, the last thing I'll show you is, let's go ahead and turn off the device. So I'm going to go ahead and flick this on switch to off. And you'll see how the zoom lens there retracted and the screen is now blank. And to protect your screen, I highly recommend just flipping it over and rotating it and flipping it back so that now the screen is protected. If you have any questions about the Sony ZV-E10 II or the new kit lens, please feel free to let me know in the comments below and I'll try to answer those in a future video. Otherwise, if you found this video helpful, could you please give it a thumbs up down below and consider subscribing if you want to see more Sony ZV-E10 II videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.